Mojo Pin 12, what's up guys? Figured I'd just do a quick video, show you guys how some of the last minute things I've done. Here's that cooler I showed you yesterday. Now I filled that cooler up probably around the afternoon with ice. And I'll show you, it held up pretty good. It's still all the way to the top where I originally filled it. So that's how well that insulates this, and make sure that the cooler says a 5-day cooler. And it's doing quite well, and I believe it will be still pretty full. I might even do a couple videos to show how it's holding out. And I put the ice in the freezer, and I also came up with an idea, which I didn't think of before. One, I made some extra ice cubes, put that in a bowl there, but I also realized here is a cheap way of making an ice pack and making more ice. Take your water bottles, throw them in there, and freeze them while you have time, since you know the storm is coming. And basically I can take those bottles and add them into the cooler when that starts melting, and so I'll have extra ice, and when it melts you still have the water to drink. So I just kind of thought of doing that while I was putting this ice bag in there, and this will keep the freezer cold for a little longer. Obviously if we lose power for more than a week, I'm gonna have to eat all this stuff in here within at least a day. Maybe I might be able to get 2 days with the ice. I don't know. I've never, this hasn't been tested yet, how long this will stay cold with the ice in it. And obviously you have to worry about this leaking, so once it's not cold enough. So that's another whole thing you have to pay attention to. But as long as you're aware of it, you can kind of keep your eye on it. Now another thing I'm going to do, like I said, is fill this bathtub, and other places that you can get water from if you have to. Let's just say we're in a situation where you're out of water for quite a while. We'll say the Katrina scenario. Well, different places you can find water in your house. Obviously, in here, you have plenty of water in here that you can take, and this would be drinkable. I mean, I would definitely boil it. You want to get your water to a rolling boil. And that should, that would kill anything that might be, but usually that's good potable water in the top of your toilet. Not the ideal scenario. That's why we have 55-gallon drum downstairs and a lot of 2.5-gallon waters. But it's just something to think about, just in case you're in that type of scenario. It's something to remember. Another thing you can do is you can get the water out of your pipes, and what you would do is you would open up all the faucets above to get the air out of the system, and get to your lowest faucet and open it up, and all the water and the pressure would drop and come down, and you can collect whatever water is in your pipes at the time, and obviously that will all be drinkable. And another place that you can get water is your water heater. There's quite a bit of water. I don't even know how many gallons would be in here, but there's a lot of water in there to be grabbed and boiled and used if need be. Also, the dehumidifier, which actually should be pretty freaking full, so since it's not buzzing. There you go. Look at all that water. As long as you bring it to a boil, you should be good to go. There's other ways to treat water. One way is with bleach, which I'll show you in a second. That's why you should have bleach in your house as part of your storage, emergency storage, not just for washing your clothes. And it's the type of bleach that doesn't have any additives or perfumes or anything. It's just, you want just the plain old store-bought bleach without any additives. And I'll show you in a second how to use that. Now, if you're lucky, like me, I have a water treatment because I have hard water, And this is the water treatment system. Some people have these, some people don't. In this particular model, you know, this is stuff that I just look around the house, and right there I can open that up and siphon. Look at how much I'd be able to siphon. I mean, that's a lot of water. And that's on top of the water. And this is like emergency scenarios. Like if I know that, but you know, do I think that's going to happen? No. But is it nice to know and what type of water sources I have in my house? Yes. It just adds to that peace of mind. And this one here is completely filled with water, and I would be able to extract it from there. And then I can follow down, and the little filter, that's filled with water. So these are all things that you can think about where you can get potable water from. And this is in my particular scenario. It might not be yours, but this is how you get thinking. You sit down and look at your scenario and look around your household and look for areas where you would have water. And like I said, you boil it until you get a nice rolling boil, and that should kill everything that you have to worry about inside that particular water. And also you should have some water filters in your house, like the big Berkeley, which I have, but it's still in its case, and maybe I'll show it to you. If you go to Such00's channel and scroll through his videos, he does a whole thing on the Berkeley water. He does a great job. I would highly recommend going to see his video. I guess you don't want to keep watching that. Hi. So I would definitely recommend watching his video on the Berkeley water filter. I had already known about it prior to watching it, but his video actually convinced me to buy it. So I highly recommend you get that. It's expensive, but it's well worth it. And I have a lake right near me, so I have a huge amount of water, and as long as I can filter it, and the Berkeley water filter can basically treat your, it can take red dye out of water. That's how good it is. I also have this other water filter that I showed you before, and I'll bring it out, which is just these Swiss filters are phenomenal, and Swiss are actually leaders in filtering and pumps. Actually, the best water well pump you can get is a Swiss made, and this is just very durable, rugged. I didn't even take it out of the box because there's no need, but it's just a very well made product, and you can literally 13,000 gallons of water. This little, this is how big it is. Here's my hand, and this tiny thing. The only problem is the filters are extremely expensive. I think for I think it's the Micro Pure filter for this is like $170 or something. So I don't actually have a spare filter for this, but I will. Like I said, I do small time prepping. I have a budget, and a lot of you out there in the real world don't have millions of dollars. So there's ways to actually slowly build up all the stuff that you've seen so far I've done in my videos. This is over a good 3 years of prepping. And like I said, one of the best things you can get, and Southern Prepper 1 actually brought it up, was the LDS Preparedness Manual. You can download that thing for free on the internet, print it out, and it is just one of the best things for beginners and people who have been prepping for a while. It's chock full of information. It's just not that. Everybody should have this. That, as Southern Prepper said, Southern Prepper, I like how he emphasized that this book can save lives if people had it. You print it out, put it in a binder, and throw it in your bookcase, and read it and learn from it. And it's just an ever-giving resource. It's just going to keep supplying you with knowledge, and it even gives you guidelines on how to purchase, and if you're someone that needs some kind of structure to get you going to do this. But it's not something you have to do all at once. And one of the things I do, and it's something you can probably think of doing, is tax return time. When you get that tax return, put aside a good chunk of money to get a bulk order. That's what I did. I mean, at first I only had 3 months worth of food. Then the next year I got an extra 3 to 4 months. So, well, another 3 months of food of the freeze dried. Like I said, I think you should have a base of at least a year's worth of the freeze dried if you can. And after that, you're good to go. And that stuff is going to be around for 25 years. I mean, if you want to do more than that, that's great. I mean, that's not my thing. I don't think I'm going to... If things get that bad, I don't know if I want to be around, you know. But you still prepare, and you never know how you're going to be, man. I've done studies, and I've talked to Holocaust survivors, which is stuff that I'll be putting on this channel, including doing a video of an interview of one of my, I love this woman, and she has some real powerful things to say about when normalcy, being able to just go to a store, is no longer an option.